right, we're going to move on to the team that finished number 2 in the final rankings, Jaylen's team, Nebraska, and we're going to watch your libero, who is pretty good, as I pull this up.
So there's
Jaylen, excuse me. Got to get that screen right there. Jaylen, what made her so good? National Freshman of the Year, Big Ten Defender of the Year.
I think that something that made Lexi really good is she's played a lot of volleyball. She's played for a club that really, if anyone's familiar with sports performance, I think they do a pretty good job of training, especially first contact stuff. So she does a really good job of reading, and she understands kind of our defensive system we want her to play and her responsibilities are. But I think one thing that we allowed her to do, just because of her talent and her ability to read and understand the confines of the defense, is we allowed her to roam a little bit and, kind of maybe, hey, I understand I need to be in this spot or I need to be on this ball in this certain situations. But I think giving her the freedom to roam and, see this certain situation or certain balls are set here, maybe this player throughout the match is consistently hitting the ball here and here and here. She does a really good job of understanding all that kind of stuff without slowing herself down. Sometimes you give a kid a ton of information, then suddenly they can't play anymore. Lexi does a really good job of reading. And the other thing we think she does is she's always attacking forward, if that makes sense. So I know defensively for something, I would say if you came through a defensive practice for us, one thing that you're going to hear us talking about is just making sure you're in a position to go forward. And sometimes it might be forward to the right or to the left. And that doesn't mean you ever have to go backwards. We want to make sure kind of our weight is going forward when we're playing defense. And we think Lexi, she does a really, really good job of those two things: reading, understanding where she needs to be, and then being able to kind of cut balls off because she's small. I mean, relatively, to a lot of, to especially the teams toward the top of her half in terms of just the average size of a human being on these teams, she's really small. So being able to read and make sure she can go forward, it kind of expands her range as a defender.
So is this what you mean by allowing her to roam, kind of take balls that maybe the right back defender could take here or even middle back?
Yeah, this is a ball like we definitely, I think this is an easier one, actually. We definitely want her on this one. But yeah, we kind of, Lexi calls it, Lexi gets it kind of a thing. And understanding there's situations where she needs to flatten out to the corner. You're playing a team like Eric them, where they have two super extremely physical left side hitters where there's a little more range on a consistent basis, especially with the ability of Logan and Skylar to beat you sharp, but then they hit a bunch of balls back there. So understanding, when do they go sharp? When do they go in the corner? And I think for her too is understanding that you're going to mess them up, and just over a long period of time, how can she be good over a long period of time? And she has she does a really good job of she makes a mistake and she lets it go versus, I don't know. Sully'd probably be able to tell you more at a higher level because he played at a higher level than all of us. But as a libero, sometimes you kind of have to have this defensive back mindset of you forget the last play to a degree, because most of the time it's going to involve you, missing a dig and stuff like that. I don't know if Sully wants to jump in here, but I think just Lexi has an ability of just, hey, where if I get beat, understanding what that happened, but be able to make sure that doesn't affect the next play.
Sully, what Olympic Games were you at?
They're not the modern Olympic Games. It was back in ancient time.
Okay. So
2000 and 2004.
Libero, both times, right?
Correct.
So, solely, I guess a conversation for everyone. I struggle with, as a coach, training back row defense. I think it poses some interesting challenges, and especially for a coach who may not have the ability to stand on a box and hit a ball to exactly where you want that ball to be in order for that defensive player to replicate the move that you're trying to teach them how to make. So the one I think about is that sprawl move that she made there in the video. But there's lots of moves that require a defender to get on their belly and make a move. And so, Sully, how are you guys, I guess, to some degree in your gym, you're getting your kids in there, and some of them probably already know how to make that move. But if you're a high school coach and you're trying to teach a beginner and you're trying to get them the right kind of reps, how do we best teach that stuff?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
One is recognizing what kind of tools you have in the gym. You know, if you're a coach that can hit balls and place it where you want, I think that allows you to get some very specific reps. I'm a pretty firm believer, especially at our level, of a little more random training and, I don't know, 6 versus 6, being a little more chaotic, seeing and reading the game a little bit more. So it's not that we don't ever hit balls off the box, but I would much rather get those off a live set and a live swing. So we'll play some over the net pepper games where, I don't know, we describe it as cooperative, but it's not, hey, we're just keeping the ball in play for 15 touches. We tell our attackers, feel where the defenders are and go take a pretty hard swing at them. Don't be trying to find space in the defense, trying to attack the players themselves. But I think at younger ages, I don't know, you can see that picture in the background of the team. That's my daughter's 13s team, I think. I coached my daughter from 12s to 16s. And I think there's a little bit more space to be blocked and trying to create certain situations to teach some mechanics and get some specific work in where you're getting some quality, high quantity reps, and obviously very limited time typically with younger groups. So I think there's some balance. I think as you get older and the game gets, you get better, the skill level gets higher, you get to the Olympics, I think there's a lot more 6-on-6 stuff that's going on where it's situational and you're talking about reading and seeing versus, hey, your platform needs to be here, not there.
Yeah. So if you're coaching juniors, you're defining the demands of the skill, making sure they can move and make their proper mechanical movements. And probably that requires some blocked activities. And then hopefully we can get out of those activities in a reasonable amount of time and then transfer that over into some more random type of.
Yeah. And look, I understand I think there's a lot of value. You know, you're playing with my daughter was on the second 12s team and they couldn't keep a ball in play for very long. And as a coach, you get your 2 hours and you're in there pulling your hair out going, God, we got 5 quality touches tonight. I understand that inner battle. So I don't know. There's just some balance there. And I think it fluctuates and changes. I don't think there's some, hey, it's 30% blocked and 70% random for all training exercises. I think those numbers can change a little bit with ages and skill level.
Yep. Awesome. Dave, I think we want to give Gary plenty of time here to talk about this offense that they were running. And so we have.
You should. It's pretty good.
Yeah. We've got 12 minutes left, and I'll let you take it from here, Dave.
Okay, so we're going to take 90 seconds to answer these questions about defense. So, Gary, take 20 seconds and answer this one. Libero's most important skill, serve, receive, or digging?
Oh, wow. I mean, for us, we've had both in our libero position. It's for us, it's a makeup of the team. If we've got really good passing outsides, maybe our libero doesn't have to be the number one passer, but a better digger. But usually for us, we'll usually defer to receive first, dig second, but keep the ball off the floor is always rule number one in the backcourt.
All right, Jaylen, we could probably spend a whole show on this, but just answer this as quickly as you can. How are you charting and tracking defensive performance?
We don't love the way we do it, to be honest. It's like we have like a percentage of balls we feel like Lexi should dig or whoever should dig. But it's a little, there's some gray area based on, okay, if the ball gets bounced straight in front of her, do we credit that as an error or not? But we also look at like how many times we can convert off of her and the quality of her dig. So we I guess, long story short, we don't just use one metric. It's a dig percentage, but also based on, okay, are we converting off of her?
Perfect. Okay, and we probably should address that in blog posts and videos moving forward, and we will do that.